Rockstar's doing a giant promotion to Starfield with Xbox and Doritos and Mountain Dew. And what's really cool about it is the grand prize is in 1969 when the astronauts and NASA and everything were big. If you remember, all of them drove Corvettes. All the astronauts had Corvettes. It was like a thing.
That was a big thing.
It is. It is. And so
they got a Corvette.
I'm not a Corvette person. I don't know that
I can
thing.
help you with that. He's speaking my language.
I know.
$100%. Oh my God, it is 420. Just saying.
Well, with that in mind, welcome to High Octane
Scratch
Hustle.
all that.
I'm Fastlane Jane.
And I'm Design Muse.
And this is...
Nic Ashby, how's it going?
Hey! And it's 420.
It is.
We are starting at exactly 420 today.
Oh my God.
100%. You got to keep creative, right?
Yes, absolutely. Gosh, thanks so much for joining us. I know we've been trying to get you in here for...
I forgot how far Burbank is from Temecula.
It's far.
And until I was like my third hour of traffic on the way up here, and I was like, it is.
Traffic is not fun.
It's not.
It's
Like, I
not
honestly
fun.
miss COVID. Because COVID was amazing.
Right?
Like, the freeways were empty.
Right?
It was awesome.
Don't say that word.
Listen, hey.
I'm really glad that you
People's-
forgot that
yeah.
Temecula is so far from Burbank.
Seriously.
Otherwise, it would have been a big fat no.
No. I
He
enjoy
drove
it.
up here
Yes.
all the way for us.
100%.
Yes, I love
100% I did.
I love it. Easy there, Turbo.
We're getting off on the good foot.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
Your drive home will be much easier.
Yeah, if I don't leave till like 10 o'clock tonight,
I
it's
know.
going to
I
be
was
even
like,
worse.
no way, on a Friday night? No, Thursday.
Thursday.
Thinking
We should
Friday.
take
How
you
much
for
have you
dinner.
been next door? It is Thursday, not Friday.
You know, living out in the desert now, I have no concept of what days are what. I'm going to an event this weekend. You know, like it just all like blends into one.
Oh, you're going to Sound Sports this weekend?
No, I'm going to. I have Babes Right Out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but no, there's Sound.
Sounds like
Sports
yours is probably
right
going to be
now.
funner.
I mean, I hope so. But
I'm not going to either. I'm just going to be in my garage working,
Got it.
building something, doing
What
something.
are you going to build? Let's start there.
We've got a few things in there right now.
Yeah. And where
one of them is something that you would actually do.
Where is this place? Is it
So it's Rockstar Performance Garage.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm horrible plugging myself. Rockstar Garage down in Temecula, and we
3
are
hours away.
3 hours away in California time
from our undisclosed location.
Correct. So basically what we do is we're a business-to-business company, like brand marketing, that kind of stuff. And we do some builds, but mainly we do the builds to gather the content around the parts that we market or work with, if that makes sense. So right now in there, we have a 2000 Tundra that we've done a full swap over to the 2UZ, like a basically just rebuilding it all forged with a original TRD supercharger. It's been kind of tuned up with like a Haltech standalone with like cantilever rear. So, yeah,
That
pretty
sounds
cool.
like one fun Tundra.
And it's all the brand new burnt orange Tundra color, which is pretty
that's
sick.
pretty rad. Yeah, that's a good color.
And it has a Dana 60 rear end in it, right? Like I'm gonna piss so many people off on Twitter with that. But anyway, so
and a supercharger.
100%.
So yeah,
and like full PRP interior, like it's cool. It's sleeper.
Rad.
So it's for Yukon Gear and Axle. We're doing that one. We've got another JLU that so one of the things that we do is we have companies like Motobill or other companies send us prototype parts.
Yeah.
And then they have us look at them, install them, give them feedback, shoot some content on them, install that kind of stuff. And we have like our own laser machines and stuff like that from Lincoln that we can cut our own parts if something doesn't match or get a CAD file or something and do that. So it works really well that way. And then we have just some other Gladiator stuff that we're doing. We're like some Bob Bed Gladiators on the new 44s from Mickey Thompson, which are pretty sick. We just got the axles in from East Coast.
We were just talking about 42s. Now it's 44s.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Dude, you think that men are ever going to be happy with size? Like, honestly.
Most of your builds have excessively large tires.
Yes. Because
it's a
It
signature.
goes over
100%.
everything
Like
with
some people
this.
say we're compensating. I don't know. But I can tell you that it's our industry, I think, more than anything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So tell us about GRDLOC, because I know that you and I were on the phone.
Yeah.
And that's one of your
So
projects
GRDLOC
as
was
well.
a project that kind of like we stumbled upon. We did a deal with a guy and we ended up getting the Jeep in payment. And then we kind of started building it. And then it kind of took on a life of its own. But like I dropped a video the other day that hit like 5 million views in a week. It was crazy.
Wow.
But that
we
Jeep,
love that for you.
I know. I love that for me too. But that Jeep, I think last year hit 50 million accounts.
Nice.
Just with a Jeep, like 100,000 followers. That's insane.
So we'll request that you send us some video of GRDLOC so that we can include it on our podcast.
Oh, 100%.
So that so that everybody knows.
And we have a new one
about.
we did this year called Rock Buggy, which is like a fan favorite of everybody. It's a VW bug.
Rad.
That
the
whole theory on that was my friend Jarrett had this bug. It was kind of floating around in our shop. He wanted to go race class 11. He was in the middle of getting married, and like we all know how relationships will go, and race cars and stuff. But Steph was totally into the race car thing too. But their life was just so busy that they didn't have time. Yeah. Owning a shop, you know how much fun it is to move a car around in your shop like for a year. So I was like, Jarrett, we got to figure out something with this car. So he signed the car over to us. We built this thing out, and now it's just out there having a lot of fun. It's basically like I was laughing with Jordan and stuff because we built like a 1-to-1 RC car, right?
Yeah.
It has like an LT1 engine, like a 2018 LT1 engine in the front, not the rear, but 14 bolts front and rear steer, like that whole thing, and it's just fun. Like we were just in Disney, Oklahoma last weekend, doing a bunch of wheeling out there, and it's fun. Like,
when's it coming back to California? When can we get a ride?
I love it.
It will be back here for Offroad Expo and for Trail Hero.
Oh, cool.
So
it's like the 1st of October right there.
Can we ride shotgun?
Come on out.
Okay, cool.
Come on out. We'll throw you in it. You'll have some fun, I promise you.
Oh, I'm sure.
You'll either have fun or you won't, but either way, I will still keep driving.
Oh, no, we'll have fun.
100%. 100%. It's funny because
there's room for both of us.
100%. We'll just stack you in there. It's great.
I was in the middle.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It was funny because it was like, I remember one time I was talking with Jessie and we were talking about like going fast compared to like off camber. And she's like, man, I would rather go fast than be off camber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like going fast, like you know what you're expecting.
Yeah.
But off camber is just like, you don't know what your tipping point is until you know where your tipping point is.
Right.
100%.
I'm reminded of Easter Jeep Safari.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Talk about a fun
yeah,
tipping
exactly.
point. Yeah.
So,
I'd rather go
there
fast.
was some really interesting moments. Yeah.
It was super fun though.
What happened? Now you have to say it.
Oh, no, just going around. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, on Hell's Revenge, my tie rod on my Bronco broke.
That's always good. On an IFS, that's always great.
And I was on the bottom.
She was like, sitting in here like this,
holding me.
This is not
100%.
Okay.
100%. I remember like a few times I've taken GRDLOC through like hills and done that stuff.
Yeah.
The flex on that thing is fun, and everyone who's ever went in it has tried to jump out of it. Like, and I'm like, you can't jump out of a car while it's moving.
Seriously?
And they're like, just get me out of here because. Like, so it has 46-inch tires usually, unless we're moving it, right?
Excessively large, yes.
Correct. But the thing is like, so the 44s do work a lot better because you're obviously creating more pound per square inch to the ground with a skinnier tire.
Yeah.
But they don't look as good on social media, right? And it's all about social media. It's so stupid.
These days.
I own a social media company, so. But basically, like when we're out there wheeling, like it'll do anything on the 44s, but on the 46s, it fights for it because each corner is like 350 pounds of rotational mass with wheel, tire, everything, right? Compared to like 150 with a 44. It's stupid.
So you have to find that happy medium between
100%. And like even with a supercharged Cadillac engine, it's still like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%. So, but you'll go up and like, so the flex on that thing, I think we can go like 50 inches to the bottom of a tire before another tire comes off the ground. What? So when you have that with a 46-inch tire, you're 96 inches in the air with the top of that tire. Like you're almost, you're a couple feet shy of a basketball rim.
Yeah.
So what happens is when we get in there, like I know the lines to hit, I'll hit, and I'll pick a tire off the ground. So not only will it be drooping, but not only like in that lean it will droop. I'll pick a tire off the ground a couple feet. So now this thing is like sitting, and the person's like looking at the sky and the ground and nothing next to them, and they're just panicking and they're like, "Get me out of this thing!"
I have no clue what is going on.
And of course, I'm like laughing because I'm evil like that, and I'm like revving it and backing it up and like making it feel like it's gonna fall even more. And we were just actually at Rock Buggy in downtown LA, and we were doing some car crush stuff with some gamers. And Rockstar Energy had us out there like crushing some cars down near Culver City at the eSports Training Center, where like these little millionaire game makers, or I can't lose much money. Like I'm suing my mom and dad right now for not letting me play my Nintendo more when I was a kid. But
mine would be.
But we're in there and we're doing that, and we had this girl in there who has like 10 million followers. Her name's Nico, and she's in there like her cosplay outfit or whatever. And she's sitting there passenger, and this girl rolls up like in an M3, M4 or something. And so I'm like, okay, this girl obviously. You know what I mean? Like that's an enthusiast car.
Yes. She wants to drive a nice car. Yeah.
Like a Mustang, you happen to get into that. A Camaro, you happen to get into that. But usually, like an M series car, like you go after that car.
Why?
Yes.
Yeah. You want it.
So she gets in there, and we're in rock buggy, and it has 44s, but it has a 4.31 Atlas crawl ratio in it. So super low crawl ratio.
Yep.
And I put this thing in low, and I start like lunging it towards these cars, and she doesn't know what to expect. And this thing just lunges for the first time, and she screams bloody murder like someone stabbed her. And I'm laughing, and I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that reaction, but now that I got it,
oh, you're going for it.
We're gonna do this a few more times.
Yes, I know what it is. Yeah.
So I do it a couple more times, and then like I'm like, all right, you ready? And like I amp her all up. I'm like, okay, just listen. It's gonna be. You're fine. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm like, you ready to go? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, go. And I slam it, but I'd put it in reverse, and she didn't see me. So we shoot backwards, which completely discombobulated her. And so then she screams even louder and tries to get out of the car. And we have it all on GoPro, of course. And so I know I like this girl will probably never get in a car again. Oh, 100%.
Okay.
So there's a whole video thing. Yes, 100%. There's a whole
we need to.
Yes, 100%. And so we're smashing these cars, and like we were having so much fun. Like, and all the gamers were like, "We want to drive it. We want to drive it." I'm like, all right, let me just teach you how to do it first, and you can do it. And after every one, like I took one through, they'd be like, "I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive," because they were like so
freaked out by
because of articulation. Like I started driving off the side of cars with it, and they're looking down at the ground. The thing's laid over on its side, and I'm doing like 360 spins with the front and rear steer.
Yeah.
And they were just like, "This isn't like
because you think you're like, okay, I'm supposed to go straight, or I'm going up now, and I'm going, and it's not even.
And they're like screaming. They're like, "Where's the cars?" Because we're pointed at the ground, thing, and they can't see the ground.
It messes with your mind. So any off-road vehicles, but especially like what you're talking about, yes.
But it's fun. You know, it's a lot of fun.
Totally.
I'm totally in. I want you to teach me how to drive it.
Right.
I want to ride shotgun.
Right.
Can we do it every weekend?
Yes, 100%.
It's exactly why you do it, right?
100%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy
as long as they
moly.
don't break. If they break, then they get very expensive very fast.
Yeah. Well.
Oh yes. That's what people don't understand. I mean, so do you want to share how much you put into something like that, or it's a lot? I mean,
so like on GRDLOC, we've got a lot of people ask us, you know, what I mean, is it for sale or something like that? And GRDLOC, I would probably say if we had to recreate that, you're probably around 250 to 275,000.
Yeah.
Something like that. The bug, you're probably closer to 300. And the reason is because the bug was like just in bodywork, which you can imagine, like one, sheet metal sucks on a bug. Like it just burns through. A lot of copper behind a lot of things to like try to get stuff done. But I think we had almost 200 hours in making it a hard top removable.
Oh, cool.
So it's actually like a removable hard top,
Nice.
and then all the doors have been cut and made into half doors, right? To kind of give it like that Jeep appearance. But we did all that so we could actually pull the cage out.
Yep.
So the cage is actually like a rock bouncer style cage where, because it's like with rear steer and the engine and everything, like you can get yourself into a position pretty fast that you don't want to be. So you want to make sure it's not like a regular Jeep, right? So so I mean, it's very much the price of a race car.
Yeah.
To not race.
Right.
Yes.
We have a fun toy.
Yes, 100%.
You know.
So, but we've built them because they're purposely built for the Great American Crawl, which is the event series we own that we go all around the country, and it's a free event for people to go to. And what's cool about it is doesn't matter what you show up in. Like we've had, and I think this is huge to my team, is we've had like single women show up there and drive 3 states away to come wheel with us.
Cool.
And like the security a woman must feel to go into an off-road situation like that. Like I think that guys take that for granted, that they can just show up to King of the Hammers and spend a week there, not to worry about anything.
Yeah.
But women do.
Yeah.
And so it's like I've made it a point to our group to like make sure if you ever see like that,
and stuff,
like especially our female, because I feel like it can get weird if a guy's trying to just be overly So we send out our female influencers to be like, hey, like go approach and have a good time and like bring them into the fold, so to say, type thing. But we've had like just in stock Jeeps, and like they just roll up and like they're trying and they're doing everything and we're encouraging them and everything. And then like 2 events later they come back and I'm like, oh, you're just as bad as a guy. Like 100%. This girl is like 60,000 financed in parts.
Right?
Yeah.
40s tons and everything. And I'm like, what are you compensating for? But it's really cool.
It's because you're good at developing community. Once again, we're talking about the idea of developing that community.
100%. But I think you have to be authentic to do that, right?
Yeah.
And you have to, like, and I feel like people are often gravitated towards premium. Right. Like, and sometimes they pay for that. Like they're willing to pay more money for that premium feeling.
Yeah.
But what we've done with the Great American Crawl is it's completely free to people.
Yeah.
And so they show up, they're a part of the YouTube series. They're a part of everything. We give away like $6,000 or $7,000. Like we're giving away a free set of 40s from Mickey Thompson at every event this year.
That's
like you can
amazing.
win. So they show up. And what I like about it is it's kind of like a little bit of like that Jesus washing feet experience because all of our influencers have to then cook for all these attendees.
Cool.
So they're actually, we break out the grill and everyone's grilling.
Totally.
So these people are coming over and just having like a barbecue and we're serving them.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so I like that
totally.
because I feel like it keeps everyone grounded together.
Yeah. Well, and it's an empowerment thing that you're giving them because the people that are participating are the participants in the event.
Yes.
So they're doing it themselves. You're not doing it for them. Like you're encouraging them to get out there and get in that seat and do it themselves. Baja Forged, signature vehicle builds and off-road products built to forge your own path. Baja Forged was basically made because we loved off-roading. We loved the open roads. If you're looking for off-road products to help you get out on the terrain, visit bajaforged.com. Follow us on Instagram at Baja Forged for our latest builds.
Since 1987, GTS Customs has specialized in resto mod Corvettes. From widened bodies to pro touring vehicles with all today's modern technology. If you've got a Corvette, an old Corvette, and you want to make it drive like something new, contact gtscustoms.com.
I'm just tired of like these events, like just charging people. I think there was an event, it went out of business, but there was an event that was like $800 a weekend for someone to take their Jeep to and go wheel with them for like 2 or 3 days. And it had some influences, and it had some stuff, and you got a catered meal. But I'm looking at the math, like the average family of 4, right? Like a mom, dad, couple kids, it's like $2,000 to go to an event for the weekend, right? By the time you get done with hotels, cars, whatever it is, right? Easily. Yeah. And that's if you don't break anything.
Right.
So on top of that, on top of that, you're like, we need another $1,500 in fees so that you can pay for all of us to go. So I went to all the brands that we work with, and we have amazing brands like Yukon, K&N, Mickey Thompson, Dirty Life, like all these companies, Magnaflow, have all gotten together. Scotia's another big one, and they pay for it all to happen.
Yeah.
Which is super rad because now these people get to go and experience. And I used to always say, like, a lot of the big brands that you see in the off-road world, I think were built on heritage history, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how many brands do you work with now because like you and your dad or your mom or something did something cool off-roading, and like that's a memory, like that's a cherished core memory, right? Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do with the Great American Crawl, is like we're building these core memories all over the U.S. with these people to build some brand value with them, for one. Yeah. But two, to kind of get them off the couch. Totally. Because I feel like
you want to encourage people. I know.
Because I feel like a lot of people are just stuck on the couch these days. Yeah. And like that just makes people unhappy overall, right? And like when you get them out there and they have a good weekend, they're just motivated to do something with their life. It's the adventure of getting out and doing something. And again, with the community part, just getting out with other people and doing things that you all enjoy doing. Yep. Yeah. No, 100%. I think that's one of the coolest things that we probably experienced with the Great American Crawl, like what we built there with everything. So
I love that.
I know.
Yeah. That sounds like
cool.
That sounds like something fun we should do.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, 100%.
Can we do that? Can we find that in the budget?
Yeah. Totally. Do a live podcast.
I'm in.
There you go.
Do a live, you heard that here. We've been invited to do a live podcast.
We'll do a podcast from her upside down in a Jeep.
I like that even more. I like it.
One of my influencers was following me last weekend at Disney, and I hit this obstacle. And it was like a 4 or 5 foot shelf, right? And then you have to like climb up it and then get over it and get out of there. And he pulled up on it with an old CJ. And it's built like he has videos out there.
What size tires?
He was probably 43s, stickies.
Oh gosh, you got
but he's out there and he's like running this thing, and this dude has videos of like 30 million views, like with the stuff he does, and he's following the bug. But the bug has wheelbase. The Bug's 134-inch wheelbase, which is like almost a Gladiator, right?
Yeah.
Or even like a 4-door Tacoma.
It's
right?
not
Something
a Bug
like
anymore. Got it.
Yeah, it's not a Bug anymore.
It's an extended
but
Bug.
His is like 100 and I want to say 8 or 10, which is a lot different. Even GRDLOC's like 120.
Oh, when you approach something, it's completely
100%.
And people don't get that.
He pulled up on it and his suspension unloaded and he just went flying.
Oh, gosh.
And it was crazy because like I was like, roll that way. Because on this side was like a 30-foot cliff into water.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I saw it happen and I was like up the cliff in like a few seconds. Like I pulled up, done it, and we flipped him over. But we had to end up like pulling parts off the car and wedging a log
to get it back
between his frame and axle, and then strapping it with the winch, like sucking it down, and then cross tying it because we ripped his track or not his track bar. We ripped his basically his coilover was ripped off. We ripped a link out of the frame and ripped the frame in half on the front with the rollover. It was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But
that's
he
what people
broke a
don't
rib.
get. When you're broken out in the middle, you still got to get out. Just
Yeah.
Okay, now you either got to go back up or back around or something.
Yeah.
You're not.
You don't get to stay.
Yes.
But he's an old military dude. You know what I mean? Like a lot of our guys are veterans.
Cool.
But he just broken rib and all. He just jumped in his rig and drove it out. Like dropped down this little thing and through the water and everything and just drove right out.
Cool.
And we're just like, that's not your typical influencer right there. You know what I mean? Be laying on the ground like, I need to go fund me. I have a broken rib.
Oh, gosh. Right. That was good.
I swear.
So how do you feel about the term influencer?
Man, I feel like it's toxic almost. I think that...
What word do you think you'd prefer? Or is it just that it's...
A team.
Social media
I would prefer
this.
people be partners or teammates or things like that more than influencers. That's kind of how we look at our group. Yes, are we influencers? Yes, because we influence people to purchase parts or influence brands to people. So you are technically an influencer by definition. But I think that with the rise of like COVID, the way it happened and all that stuff, I think a lot of people have realized, hey, I could be an influencer and I can influence. But I don't think they realize there's such things as bad influence and good influence. And I think that there's a lot of influencers out there to discredit racers. We have a very long conversation in our whole group that as long as you want to be a part of the team, you can, but racing is a whole separate thing. And professionals race. You have to be a professional to race and be successful at it. You do not have to be a professional to be an influencer and be successful at it.
Totally. They're different things.
And and influencers are there to help connect brands to people. Racers are there to show the value of parts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do truly believe a racer can be an influencer, but an influencer cannot be a racer.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you'll have the exceptions, but just because you go race one King of the Hammers or you finish one lap in this race, it doesn't make you a racer.
Yeah.
Like I set a world record. I was talking to the guys. Yeah, I set a world
yeah.
record in a speedboat one time in an offshore boat. I don't think that I'm a world record holder because I was sitting in a boat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I think that people have disconnected and it's like that entitlement thing.
Yeah.
It's like, look at me. I have a cool Jeep. I'm entitled to your views and your likes and all that stuff or whatever it is, like your support.
And yet people eat it up.
But that's where I think, again, that's where I think that a lot of people, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
What I've seen is I think that a lot of people, think that they have to pay something for it to be valuable. Does that make sense?
Like, I think it's been that way for a long time.
Like if you go to an event, right? And there's people that will pay money to go to an event, but they'll say, I don't want to go to a free event.
Yeah, because they don't necessarily see value in that.
Correct, because they're like, well, they're not charging me
in
anything.
A discounted option.
Yeah. What's the value? So, I mean, at the Great American Crawl right now, we're getting between 150 to 250 rigs per event, per weekend. That we handle all the trail leads, guides, everything, right? Yeah. But it's crazy to me because you would think there'd be more. If we're giving away a free set of 40s at every event, right? Yeah. Why wouldn't there be 500? Which I don't need 500 cars there. I don't want 500 cars there. But my point is you would think that we'd have to start capping it more.
Yeah.
Right? But because we don't charge, I think people think, well, what's the value? Well, the value is actually more to you because if we're not there to make money off you, we're truly there for you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where people have lost that disconnection.
Society's been jaded a little bit in the fact that that's what they think.
Yes.
That's what that is. But
100%.
Someone giving something for free, they're just not sure, like you said.
Yeah, like the word free almost disvalues it.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, it doesn't if it's given for the right reasons, right? But
getting back to things like that is a good thing.
100%.
Well,
because it takes power away from those that I feel like abusing people in those positions. Because I do think there is. I think there's a lot of abuse from people that run events or people that do things. And you know what I mean? It's like there's like, look at the ticket holder stuff that's going on right now with who's the guy that Oliver Anthony just canceled an event because
the singer,
because the country singer,
the guy that just blew up for the north of. So, anyways, he just canceled an event because the event promoters started charging over $100 a ticket because he said he was going to come.
Oh,
but it was only like $50 a ticket before that. So he got on. He goes, "I'm not going." He goes, I would rather throw you a free event that doesn't charge you anything than let these people gouge you at the ticket stand. Yeah. And Taylor Swift had the same thing where she got in a fight with Ticketmaster over the same thing. So it's pretty crazy. Like you're starting to see authentic people actually say, no, enough is enough type thing.
Well, maybe we're seeing the resurgence of common sense, right?
I don't know, man. I feel like common sense is the way of the dodo, like from what I've seen in the world.
The way of the dodo. Well, listen, I can hold out hope, but I think that there's that sense of like you were saying, of entitlement, and then just getting people outside. Put your phone down. I'm really one to say something. Please watch our YouTube channel. But
well, there's a right time to be on your phone and a wrong time to be on your phone. And I think that's what people.
Maybe 6 hours a day is too much.
Well, not if you're running social media. It's probably the right time to be on your phone, right? But it's also that disconnect of when to know when to put your phone down. Like when you're sitting at your house and your entire family is watching a movie and you're all on your phones, that's probably a time to put your phone down and involve yourself. But if there's 6 or 7 of you social media people that are trying to do your stuff and everybody's like, look at all these people on their social media. Well, it's like, well, if they were all working on a car right now and wrenching on a car, would you say the same thing? No, because the actual physical act looks okay to you. Yeah. So it's that, to me,
tying the two things together.
Yeah, 100%, where people have a hard time understanding, well, they make money using their phone, right? But at the same time, has that taken over your life in an unhealthy way?
Right.
So I'm the same way. Like I watch my hours on my phone and I'm like, get off your phone, Nick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like...
Do you have your phone tell you that?
Seriously. I know, right?
It probably could.
Speaking of, I wonder if we got a website yet.
Oh, that's
we
right.
Have some
yeah.
We do have the website.
Okay.
Yes.
So, the big announcement.
Very big
The big announcement.
So, okay.
Timpani, please.
So
Jason will hate me.
So we obviously do a lot of work with Rockstar Energy, and I've had a relationship with them for like a decade now, right?
Cool.
And that's where Rockstar Garage came from. And I just gotten out of the military, and I was the builder for the military doing some cars and stuff. And Chevy had just given us a 5th gen Camaro, and so I built this thing, and it won a Gran Turismo award, 2 GM Design awards, and it was a full carbon fiber Gen 5 supercharged, like carbon fiber drive lines, BBS wheels. Oh, wow. I had Brembo's RS prototype brakes on it. Like, it was built. GM High Tech put it on the cover. Like, it was a launch for me. And I was leaving the military, getting out of it, and kind of going on my own thing. And Rockstar walked into the Chevy booth and said, do you want to work with us? And I was like, yeah, why not, right? So we started doing stuff, built some cool Challengers and stuff with them. And then since then, it's just been like an on and off relationship. The last year and a half has been a lot more involved. Yeah, exactly, on. So my boss over there, Nicole, she runs Brand X, and she kind of pulled me in a little bit more. So like right before the Super Bowl, we went down and bought 3 new Gladiators and built full DJ booth Gladiators, like these insane things that flip open. The DJ stands in the back, and they have Xboxes on them. We sample out of them, this whole thing. We built 3 of them. And we actually have those traveling the country now, and our ambassadors, like our Jeep ambassadors, are actually with those like at Formula Drift this weekend doing cool stuff, right?
Wow.
In Salt Lake. And so we're always doing this fun stuff. And so the next thing that we're doing is we've done some video game cars in the past with them. And I'm pretty stoked because like my little 11-year-old downloaded the game last night or 2 nights ago, and it's called Starfield. And if you know anything about Bethesda, which is like the game company, right? Like they make just amazing games. Mm-hmm. Bethesda has been working on this game for like since we were kids, but they just didn't have the technology to launch it. And what it is called Starfield, and it's about space exploration. There's like 1,000 planets that you can explore.
Oh, gosh.
And each planet will either be like your friend or foe, depending on how you want to do it.
Wow.
But every time you land on a planet, it's like literally an open world platform that you can, buy cars or steal cars or like go after people or be a bounty hunter, like do whatever you want, right? It's a really open world platform, but it's like never ending. Wow. So with that tie-in to Starfield, Rockstar's doing a giant promotion with Xbox and Doritos and Mountain Dew. And what's really cool about it is the grand prize. Basically, we've done some stuff with them. And so this game's coming out. And so we got a phone call, naturally from Rockstar, about building the grand prize giveaway. Now, with you, obviously, you're probably going to be a little bit excited about this. We are down... Right now, we just bought it. And we're building it.
It's Corvette.
So
she 100%. That thunder.
It's fine. Okay. She can have it. It's totally good.
Okay.
So we are doing a C8 Corvette.
So cool. Wow, that's awesome.
And doing a lot of like the thing about like I feel like those are a supercar, right? Like in like an inexpensive way, right?
Yeah.
I say that like an inexpensive way, it's still $90,000. But you're not having to drop like $250,000, right? Yeah. But the thing about that car is it still has a little bit of room for improvement, right? So working with these guys, so it's xbox.rockstarenergy.com is basically the website you'll go enter to win this thing. So all you got to do is grab a cold drink, Rockstar, flip open your tab, and it'll be like a limited edition Starfield can. And every can is an entry to try to win this thing.
Oh, cool.
And so you'll go to the website, you'll enter it, and you'll try to win this thing. But what's cool about the whole theory of building a Corvette is, one thing that we do when we do these types of things is it's not like the waterfalls and water fountains inside cars style thing of like...
I was like, where are you going with this?
You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of people that do like these builds and stuff.
Yes.
It's like...
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're a single mom with 4 cars. You know what we did? We took your back seat out and put an aquarium in there for you.
Yeah.
And it's like... You know what I mean? Like there's like no practicality to anything.
Yeah.
So when someone wins this car, we want to be able to like have fun with it and use it, right? So like some of the builds we've done in the past, people are like, wow, you're Rockstar. Why don't you do more? And we're like, well, because we still want the car usable.
Yeah.
Right. And if we do crazy wide bodies and all that kind of stuff, like how practical is that going to be for someone? Whether you want to keep the car or sell the car, that's your choice. And you should have that choice type thing because you're the winner. So, so what the whole thought of this whole build is in 1969, when the astronauts and NASA and everything were big, if you remember, all of them drove Corvettes. Mm-hmm. All the astronauts had Corvettes. It was like a thing.
That was a big thing.
It is. And so
I'm not a Corvette person. I don't know that
I can help you with that. He's speaking my language.
I know.
So
I feel it.
So we thought it would be really cool to do it. So they told me to go down and buy like a base level C8 and let's get it built and everything. And being who I am, I was like, man, it'd be really cool if it was like a 3LT Z51 package. So I actually went down and like leveraged one. Yeah, 100%. And so I actually found one. And then I got some great companies that we work with to jump in, and like Brembo and KW and K&N and Magnaflow and stuff, and help us out with some costs on some things so we could up that model a little bit.
Nice.
So we ended up getting a 2023 3LT Z51 package. And it's getting like KW V5s on it and like some Brembo GT stuff on it.
I think I need to go buy a Rockstar.
I know, right?
I was like, how much does Jane want this?
So 100%. So the average person, like it has the, I'm going to butcher this, but I think they're the GT2 seats. Like the nice carbon fiber, like.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has those in it so we can throw harness bars and all that kind of fun stuff in it. But yes, we're actually building that right now, and that all launches in October. And so last time we did something like that, I think it had like just over 1 million entries or something like that. It was crazy.
Rad. Wow.
You know what I mean? And then like all the brands we work with are tied into it and all that kind of stuff. And it's fun. But what's funny is like you'll see these gamers go try to win this thing, and they're like, it's a Corvette with a wrap. And you're like, but then like car guys are like, why are you giving like V5 coilovers to gamers? Like they're not going to know what to do with those.
Not at all.
Okay.
But what I will say is like when you see a lot of these crossovers now between gamers and car racing or stuff like that, you're starting to see a lot of connection there of like physics of like how you have to drive a car in a game versus in real life.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see like a lot of those style YouTubers and stuff like that, which is super cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you're doing it in a game and showing people, which I'll still never understand like why my son will watch people play video games instead of playing them himself. I don't get that. Like this generation does that. Like where they'd rather watch someone playing something than doing it, or like watching someone live life than doing it. I've just never been that person. But there's a giant group out there that does it. So
Yeah.
Well, just look at Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
And how that, I mean, you know, and how in racing we've got simulators and
100%.
Yeah. So.
Well, and it was like when we built
work.
that car and won that award, the designer of Gran Turismo sat in the car and was like, "This is the coolest American car," and then signed it. And I was like, "That car is so cool now."
That's right.
Yeah.
100%.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that's
The stamp of
exciting.
approval.
Yeah.
So how much time do I have to go drink Rockstars
So it
every day?
runs-
So no more coffee for Jane, just Rockstars.
Yeah, 100%. So I think the program runs between like beginning of October to the end of December. I don't want to throw hard dates out, but I'm pretty sure like
Okay.
that's your time frame to try to win that baby.
Okay.
But it will be at SEMA with us. So if you want to swing
Cool.
by, we'll be in the
Awesome.
center hall up towards the front doors again, like we
Yes,
did last
please.
year.
Yeah.
So we'll have it there. Maybe we'll let you sit in it.
Are you coming?
Maybe.
If
Are you
we-
coming
if we
to
bring-
I don't know. I haven't gotten my.
Well,
my
now there's
schedule.
a Corvette there.
Yeah.
She'll probably be there.
I know a
But
guy
you're
with
going to
a
have to
Corvette.
come to make sure you
I
take
will.
her out of it.
I see it.
It's mine.
Yes, I have a feeling that she won't.
She's like, but Nick told me I can sit in it. It's
Yeah.
mine.
I touched it. It's mine.
It's mine.
Sorry.
I like the handle.
Yes.
That was very popular with Volkswagen. So come on. Listen, I remember stuff.
I remember.
I remember one or two things. That's so rad.
Yeah, so we have that going on
Cool.
right now.
Well,
Just a lot of
and-
cool
and
stuff.
Just the idea of it being part of Xbox, and then, like you said, I love all the connections
Mm-hmm.
there.
What's super cool about it is I think a lot of people, how can I say this? I would say a lot of younger generations feel that big corporations can't be authentic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And what's cool about it is there are real people that work at those corporations.
Sure.
And
Oh,
they
yeah,
all
yeah.
want to be authentic and they all want to have culture and they all want to do that, but sometimes they're limited. But what's really cool on this program is we're not, if that makes sense. Like you have people, like the person who's running gaming at Rockstar, he is a gamer, which is super cool. You know what I
okay.
mean? And it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
each person that I've met at Rockstar that are in those positions are like authentic people, which is super cool because they're not so much worried about the ladder of success in front of them. They're worried about the program they're managing and putting their heart into it, which is super cool. And you're starting to see that with the brand.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? Like they're so to say drinking the same Kool-Aid they're asking you to, if that makes sense. Like they're willing to become that millionaire spending $2 million to race, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they want to see that, you know what I mean? And they want to see their own success and they're taking ownership of it, which is super cool because when you see like that at the leadership level, then it transfers down below. Does that make sense? It's kind of
Yeah.
like in the military, we would say you either push from the back or you pull from the front.
Yeah.
And usually good leaders pull from the front.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Nice. And you want to align yourselves with companies,
100%.
brands. I mean, the whole idea is when you have a mission like that, you want to help theirs as well.
No,
If
100%.
it's on
And-
a good level of what that is.
And
yeah.
Mickey Thompson's like another good
Yeah,
way
yeah.
of looking at that is
Yeah.
I feel like they've always been a brand of the industry, if that makes sense. Like they
oh
haven't.
gosh, I like for me, Mickey Thompson was like I grew up like going to races, going to Mickey Thompson races. I mean, that was huge.
You probably saw Greg race.
Yeah, no,
Wouldn't be
exactly.
surprised,
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Totally.
So I've been with them, man. I remember when I first started working with them, I think it was in like 2013. And they had their biggest tire they really had was like a 38 1550.
yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do with this tire? This tire is like not fit anything. Like just build
it.
build
the
like
saws all out.
maybe I could just build like a coffee table out of it or
I love
something.
it.
And it slowly but surely, it took me a while, but we got some 40s made. And Ben Anderson over there is just an amazing engineer, like what he does. He hates me because I'm always like, I need something else. I need
That's
something else.
hilarious.
But he's amazing. And like the 42s and 44s that are coming out right now, and those things are probably the coolest tires I've seen for them, but just for the industry in a long time. Like they listen to what a lot of people wanted. They've got a pretty good sidewall to them. They're super lightweight. They're not $1,200 a tire like other 42s are. And like I've seen Mickey Thompson warranty some things for like, you know, enthusiasts that I'm like, how did you get that approved? Like to warranty that, you know what I mean? Because like a $900 tire is still a $900 tire.
Yeah.
And just because you drive it down the road and you're not supposed to because it's a sticky or you slice it on a rock, that's not their fault.
Yeah.
That's your own fault.
Yeah.
But yet they still warranty it. You know what I mean? Just because like they want to take care of their customer.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that again goes back to the authenticity of like people in those positions. You know what I mean? Like, like the
They understand the bigger picture.
100%. But like the new marketing director is funny. Her name's Heather Tausch, and she came out to a Great American Crawl, and she was one of the first actually Mickey Thompson people to come out to one of the crawls. And she comes out and she gets in rock buggy, never really being in anything off-road like that. Yeah. Right. And we're in West Virginia in Good Evening Ranch. And there's a thing there called, I think it's called Tackett Creek or something like that. And it's this trail that when it's dry, you're still in water because it's just water and it's like you're driving up a river, kind of. If that makes sense. Or a stream or however you want to put it. And we get down there to the bottom of this thing and it starts downpouring. And like if you've ever been sitting in a stream when it's downpouring, a lot more water comes really fast. And when you're out on the East Coast, like everything's already wet.
Flood.
So then it's just really coming. And so we're looking at it and the bug has like no windows or anything. And the roof
half
leaks
doors.
because it's it's like not sealed like that. And so her and I are getting wet, 100%. Her and I are getting wet. And she goes, what are we going to do? And I'm like, we're going to go faster. And I was like, do me a favor, like cross and hold like this just in case anything happens, your arms don't fly out. And so she holds on and like we've filmed on this water before, this creek, and it's taken us 4 or 5 hours to get all of our cars through, like 10 cars through it. And I turned like a country song on and we were at the end of it by the time that country song, like we ultra forward this thing and she's in there just screaming. You have like 3-4 foot waterfalls. I'm hitting rear steer at like 30, hitting rocks the size of the 44s.
Because you know that
water, like it's and we're by ourselves. Like we're literally like our friends were waiting for us up there.
It could be a flash flood that you can literally not get through.
100%. And so then we get up to like this ledge thing where like the year before I had hit that and gridlocked into like the 6-foot wheelie and like rode it in the Jeep and slammed down. And I just had got the new East Coast Gear Supply 80 in that thing. So luckily it didn't like shatter my front end, but I take the bug up it because the extended wheelbase, it just like rolls right up at like nothing. I'm like, that was so unclimactic. And so then I back down.
Oh gosh.
And what was crazy is there's like 30 or 40 people. There were like locals and people that had came to the crawl. And they're standing in the rain filming us. Yeah. Like come up this thing. And I was like, you're standing in the rain right now. And they were just they're all just like, right? Like you're having a blast. Yeah. And Heather's in there and she's just screaming. I don't know if they were like joyful screams or fearful screams, but they were just screams.
A little of both, probably.
Probably. And we get up that and then I back down and she's like, we were already up. Like, why did you come back down? And I was like, because I want to go up that. Well, I want to go up that. And it was like these 4-foot ruts that like shot up the side of this hill. And then everybody was up there too. And so we shoot up this thing. And if you've ever been like mudding, so to say, you understand like as soon as you turn that tire one way, it just throws mud, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like horribly. And obviously it's all open design, like with tube and chassis. So it's like there's no fenders. Yeah. So I hit this mud and she's over there just screaming and laughing. We get to the top of this hill and she goes, Nick, do I have anything on my face? And I look over and her entire face is just covered in mud. Like horribly covered in mud. And I was like, no, you're good.
Yeah, you're right.
And she's like, oh, cool. I thought I might have something on my face. And then she goes like this. And she just goes like this and just smears it. And she was like, Nick. And it's all in her hair and it's everywhere. And I was like, do you know how much people pay for mud baths? Like, that's good quality mud. I should have charged you. For some reason, she hasn't been out with me again off-roading. I don't know why. But
you didn't get her a tear off.
Correct. Exactly. She needed like a whole skin tear off. But it was a really good time. You know what I mean? And she came back. Like, I thought she was going to come back and be like, you're all fired. Nick just like completely covered me in mud and tried to kill me. But she came back and she was like, you guys, we need to invest more in the Great American Crawl. We need to do more with the Great American Crawl. Cool. all these people that were there were just excited about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, people that are just enthusiasts, and they were telling me how they bought tires from Mickey Thompson because they just work and how they're excited about them and all that stuff. And she was like, this is real. Like, it's authentic. And so it was funny because I thought for sure because she comes from like the Momo world, like Italy, like that kind of stuff. And like, she's used to Ferraris on a track, not a VW in the mud.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's the authenticity of the consumer and them getting out of the office to know who the consumer is.
100%. I think that's a lot of brands somehow lose connection to their consumer. And then they think they know what their consumer wants.
Get out. Yeah.
Then they do some kind of marketing thing and then it blows up in their face. And that brand
has nothing to do with what. Yeah.
Correct. 100%. And they're like, man, you missed your consumer on that one. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been a wild ride, but it's been a lot of fun. So
just keep doing it though.
Yeah, 100%.
That is the hustle.
So so we're handling a lot of like the external marketing now for Mickey Thompson.
Cool.
We're handling a lot of ambassadors, and you know, whether they're a Rockstar Garage ambassador or not, we're still handling them. We have that, and it's just crazy.
Is that part of your brand leadership designs too?
So leadership designs is actually, so people are always like, you misspelled this. And like, they're like, you missed some letters. And I'm like, no. So what leadership designs is first of all, the word leadership is LDRSHIP. It's the acronym for the Army values. So being ex-military and stuff, and knowing that more CEOs and bosses, so to say, come out of the military than anywhere else, I wanted something that would correlate that. So when I created my company, it's leadership design. So it's loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Whew.
I love that.
Man.
And that you can remember it.
Yeah, like I haven't had to recite that in a minute. But that's the acronym that every soldier is taught in the military when you go in. And you literally have tests on it and all that kind of stuff, and you have to do all these things with it. Think of like kids in kindergarten having to recite the alphabet. Like that was you as an adult having to recite that acronym. So it's very much instilled in you. And so I created the company based off that. So Rockstar Performance Garage is just a DBA of leadership designs. Yeah. That makes sense. It's like a partnership with Rockstar Energy. Yeah. But leadership designs, you know what I mean? It's a full scale. Now, like I never thought about this, but now it's a full scale agency. It's crazy. Yeah. We're shooting and creating content for over 30 brands. Yeah. We've got about 40 to 45 actual contracted ambassadors that work with us and influencers. And we've been dealing with ambassador influencers for almost a decade now. Yeah. So it's like what everyone else is dealing with right now on the entitlement and everything, we already went through that. Like we already realized how to avoid that, how to get away from it, how to build a good team. And like the team that we have now is just like top notch, like God's gift. They're amazing. Yeah. Probably the most like self-service people you've ever met in your life. You know what I mean? Just like want to make everybody's life better around them, so to say. But yeah, so that's kind of where everything's at. And then a lot of the stuff that we do too is we connect brands. So like we actually manage just over $1 million a year in parts for company builds. Yeah. So like right now we're working on stuff with Rugged Radio. So we're helping get all of their parts from the brands that we work with to help facilitate their build. Mm-hmm. We're doing something like that with Mickey Thompson right now, Yukon, like all these brands. We kind of manage where all the parts go. Yeah. And then we, so to say, keep the tabs. So what I've always found with companies is, and any owner will probably tell you this, is when they have people that work for them, like sales guys, and I don't think there's anything like they're trying to do purposely, it just happens. One sales guy will call another sales guy and say, hey, I need these wheels, I need these lights. So then they'll go, let's trade. And this guy will send his, but then like this guy may not send his in time. Or maybe like this guy sends his and this guy gets laid off. And they didn't realize that was open or out there. And then all of a sudden this brand hates this brand because of it. Because they thought it was like,
I was like,
like, you see where I'm going with that?
Totally,
and unbeknownst to the owners of these brands, they have these outlying, like, I don't want to say VIGs, but like almost these outlying O's to these people and it like these other brands. And then they're like, oh, I never want to work with that brand. And it like creates this turmoil. So what we do is we kind of play referee to like 30 bosses. Yeah. And so we'll be like, all right, Baja Designs, these guys need this because you need this. Yeah. Can both of you send me this? And then I track that. And then you have like a third party going, hey, we need to get this out. And then I typically deal with like vice presidents or owners of the brands. Yeah. And then like they'll hand me off to their marketing, marketing directors or whoever, but I'll typically always have my follow-ups with them to make sure that everyone's playing nice or everyone's getting what they're supposed to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then if a brand's not like kind of doing what they're supposed to, then I kind of put them on pause and I go, hey, like you got to get your stuff out or you can't get anything else.
Yeah.
Type thing. And the nice thing about having that many companies involved in what we do is I feel like when it comes to influencers or ambassadors, like let's say, for instance, Mickey Thompson. So you want to be an ambassador, Mickey Thompson, we give you a set of 40s. Well, once we give you a set of 40s, what do we have to make sure that you do what you're supposed to besides your word?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of that going on.
And there's a lot of that. And I think that there's good people out there, but I
Sure.
also think there's people out there that are just trying to get free parts.
Yeah.
Right? And what we do, which is nice about the garage is, well, now we got you your tires, you need your wheels. You need your intake, you need your battery, you need your lights. So we always have like the next things they need. So they make sure they follow through, which I think any of our team would follow through fine. But in the past, when we've had people that haven't followed through, like then they're not allowed to have anything else, right? Until they get done what they're supposed to get done. And it just kind of gives you, I don't want to say like the carrot in front of the horse, but it kind of gives them motivation to make sure they do a good job, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And the craziest thing, what I've noticed is, and it's not so much my team now, but even in the past or other people I've worked with, it's crazy. I can give you a set of $4,000 tires, but if I charge you $100 for those 4,000 tires, you'll work harder.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest thing in the world. And I'll never understand that at all.
It speaks to people and giving away something, the free, that concept of free.
It's that, but it's also what I found is it comes to skin in the game. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're putting their own.
They're putting their own, and they're giving you're giving them some ownership.
It's their own investment.
100%, and it's that skin in the game, and it could be 10 cents.
Yeah.
But if they feel like
was
they
their
paid
10 cents.
something, they all of a sudden
there's
feel
greater
like,
value.
Isn't that
yeah.
funny?
And it's crazy to me because I'm just like, man, give me a free set of tires. Now, you will own me, right? Why am I paying $100 for this? You know what I mean? I'm gonna kill myself for you, type thing. And it's crazy because it's just, you know what I mean. But what's cool is we're starting to see, like, especially in our team, like you're starting to see a lot of the influencers and ambassadors that I would say like are really good are starting to outshine the ones that are not so good, and the ones that are not authentic and they're just out there for the free parts, like they're starting to fade.
Self-cut.
And it's nice because that is one thing I do like about like recessions and economy hits and stuff like that. It kind of removes some of that fat that we don't need.
Yeah.
Type, and it makes the industry better.
Your business seems so niche. I mean,
it is.
Really,
it's crazy.
When you think about that, because we've done plenty of builds, but we never had somebody of your level to organize something like that when we've done something for SEMA or otherwise.
It's crazy. Like usually at SEMA, we'll have anywhere between like 13 to 15 cars there. And a few of those will be like brand new builds, but for the most part, like we organize the booths, the SEMA, the spots, everything. Like we're getting to the point now that like we're booking out booths for brands and setting up their entire booth to make sure that it happens correctly.
Incredible.
But I mean,
a lot of them use outside agencies. So
correct.
What you're talking, because they don't know what to, like you said, you're more authentic to what needs to be done, and you understand that marketplace where that's what they need.
Well, and it's that, but it's also like, one, I feel like a lot of people that work at brands are just intimidated. Like they can't get their head above water, right?
Yeah, totally.
And they're just getting more and more and more and more and more put on
Yeah.
them. So a guy way smarter than me that I look up to, his name is Chavis Chipres, and he used to be one of the executives over at Giant Bicycles. And he made a really smart statement to me one time. He said, Nick, make a pot of coffee that everybody enjoys. And that brands only have to put a little bit of cream or a little bit of sugar in it to make it that much sweeter for them. But they don't have to make a pot of coffee.
Yeah.
And then there's just more coffee to go around. And it's crazy because that's kind of like how I built my business, is just thinking, how can you make people's life easier?
Totally.
And if you do that, so it's like, hey, ambassador, I'm going to make your life easier by getting you X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You're going to make this person's life easier by hauling tents and doing this stuff at events.
Yep.
And everybody's going to be happy and win. And then it does, and then it works.
Yeah.
Because you have good people behind it, if that makes sense. But the problem is finding the good people, because good people are hard to find these days, I think.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
and
they might be lacking in a few areas. You know? They might have a great personality, but zero work ethic.
100%. And I think, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, you know, I think that a lot of people romanticize, you know what I mean, the old days, but nobody wants to work for the old days, like towards the old days.
Yeah. They want all the glory, but they don't want to have to do the grind.
100%. Yeah. So.
But that's what the hustle is, right?
Yes.
Sorry. Took that away from you.
Right? No, we're thinking the same thing.
You're just hustling to get the hustle.
Well, this has been amazing. This has been really great. I love the way you shared everything and the new contest that's coming up.
Yes.
So
yes, let me make sure I say that. Yeah, I'll say that one more time just to make sure I say it correctly. Looking at this,
send
to make
people
sure I do
to the
it.
right places that they know where to go.
Xbox.rockstarenergy.com.
Okay.
And then you can pick up yourself one of the limited edition Starfield Rockstar Energy cans to be entered to win the grand prize of a C8 Corvette.
Cool.
Which is going to be pretty cool. And then there's also a lot of other great prizes they're going to have on there as well. They have runner-ups and second places and stuff like that.
And then how do people find you?
You can find us on social media, the Rockstar Garage. My personal accounts are like GRDLOC, GRDLOC, or Rock Buggy, ROKBUGY.
I can't wait to ride shotgun in those, dude.
Dude, they're fun. They're fun.
Where are they hibernating right now? In Temecula? We got to drive down?
Well, GRDLOC's in Temecula. We actually just shot a bunch of Amazon stuff. We're doing stuff with Amazon now as an automotive influencers with them. It's pretty cool.
What are you doing?
Yes, I'm seriously. So we have that going, and then Rock Buggy's actually sitting over at it's sitting with Andy Orlando in St. Louis, one of my influencers. Ambassadors, part of the Great American Crawl, because we just finished up Disney and we have AOAA in Pennsylvania next weekend. So our events are literally all over the country. So if you want to be a part of that, it's greatamericancrawl.com. Again, it's all free.
Totally.
You get fed, a hat, a shirt, like all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Love it.
Yeah, it's good times.
Great stuff going on.
I can't wait to go to one of those events.
Yeah, totally.
I'm super
When's
looking
the next
forward
one out
to
on
it.
the West Coast?
Oh, man. So the problem with West Coast is, so we've been pulling.
So we got to go to the East Coast is what you're telling us right now.
Yeah. So like, well, the thing
We'll
is
carry tents.
100%. So we do a lot with the BLM, but the problem with doing these kind of events at the BLM is they're very structured with the BLM, and these events are very loose. Like, I don't care if people will with us. Like, if you want to come out to the crawl, sign in, and then go hit all your own trails, and then just come back for dinner, I don't care. Do you, boo? That's what I say. Like, have a good time. Like, we're not the fun police. So with the BLM and stuff, like, we've gotten our permits everywhere we wanted to go, but I've just found it's a lot easier to go to the East Coast and do these because we're holding them out like private parks. Like S'more, Badlands, Hollerwood, just really cool parks that are privately owned.
Yeah, so we can go to the website and see what the
100%. Like we did hit not Flagstaff. We hit Montrose this year, and we hit Kingman this year.
Okay.
So we did hit those two places this year. And like Kingman got rained out, so we had to completely rent out a bar and like throw a pizza party at a bar. I don't even want to know how much money people spent in alcohol because we were supposed to get there till like 6 p.m. I get there and like all the Jeepers are there drunk.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, woo, like, this is going to be a good time.
Right.
So a bunch of pizza later, gave out a bunch of stuff, and we still get messages from people being at that event going, that was the funnest time of my life. And like the bar owner's like, hey, we did really well. Can we throw another one of those events here?
I love it.
We'll need a downpour.
Right.
Yep.
It's possible.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We loved having
Thanks for
you
having
on.
us.
This was so cool.
Definitely.
Oh my
I
gosh.
say us as in my whole team that is probably going to listen to this later and critique me.
Right.
So
Well, you did an awesome job. Oh my gosh.
let's hope so. Well, cool.
Thank you guys so much for following along. Thank you guys so much for following along.
Especially you.
This is High Octane Hustle, and I'm Fastlane Jane.
And I'm Design Muse.
Nic Ashby, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you all.